Yes, that's good.
Hi, my name is Hans Peter Meyer, and today I'm here at Carbrea Vineyard and Winery on Hornby Island. Kathleen and I have spent the weekend here. I actually spent it at Stephen's lodge, Seabreeze Lodge, and had a great dinner last night where we had some of the Carbrea product. Today we're going to be tasting some different wines, and but first, Steve, how long have you been had the vineyard here?
Yeah, we planted in 2002, and we planted 4 acres, approximately 4,000 plants.
Right, and you've still got the 4,000 plants?
Yep, 4,000 still in the ground. We got potential to put another 3 acres in. Haven't quite got to that point yet, though.
And what are you growing?
We've got Pinot Noir, Pinot Gris, Gewürztraminer, and also Carbrea, a Hungarian varietal.
Right, but we're going to be tasting something that's got blackberry in it. Do you actually grow the blackberries here, or where do you get your blackberries?
Yeah, the blackberries, they grow wild, of course, everywhere. And the other side of the parking lot is basically where we pick it all. Come summertime, I just offer $2 a pound for people to come pick blackberries, and they show up and pick blackberries, and I freeze them down and wait till I get at least 1,500 pounds of it, and then I thaw them out and produce it. So. Okay,
so the first wine we're going to taste here is this lovely, almost an apricot colored wine. What is it?
It's a Pinot Gris. We like to call it a blush. Salmon color is what people say, or at least I think that's the appropriate color they try to call it, but it's definitely got apricot to it. It's quite an acidic wine. Pairs really well with fishes, oyster, light meats. You can go with pork probably with it too, or chicken, of course. So.
Okay, well, I'm looking forward to tasting it because this was one we didn't have last night.
And it was left on skins for 24 hours, and that's where you get the color with the apricot and salmon color. So, I guess I better try it with you. Oh, it's got more body. When you leave it on the skins, you get definitely more tannins come through to it. So it's got more body for sure.
Yeah, there's something, I can't put a name to it, and that's the problem I have with lots of this tasting is I can taste things, but I can't put names to them. So what kind of names do you put here?
Well, like you say, it's very tough and it's very arbitrary. Everyone's palate is different. I do get apricot out of this one, and you did comment on the color right away, and I do have that kind of a flavor coming through for sure. There's citrus. I always have citrus in the Pinot Gris, but definitely an apricot. And because of the skin contact, you get way more tannins again, which gives you more developed flavors, I believe. So. Yeah,
I'm almost tasting like a clay kind of... I'm not sure what it would be.
Well, my ground here is very clayish, so that's a good chance that's in there for sure. Yeah, it takes up from what's on the ground is what the flavors come through. So
what do you like to pair this with at Seabreeze?
We'd pair this with seafoods, salmon, halibut, oysters, of course, and you can go into chickens and even pork for that matter. So.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So what's our second wine?
All right, the second one we're going to try is a Pinot Noir. And this one is the 2009. I'm about to run out of. Sorry about that. I was about to run out of that, and I'm going to be into 2010 shortly. So
what was your 2009 year like?
It was one of our best harvests yet, actually. It was a really, really good weather year, and so it was a really great harvest and great sugar content in it. So lots of cherry, fruit forward, earthiness.
Is it possible a huckleberry?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, there's lots of huckleberries on Hornby too. So again, what grows here comes through into your grapes. So, yeah.
Now this is called the Heartbreak Grape, and it was one of the first grapes you planted. Why was that?
I wanted a challenge in life, and so planting the vineyard was a challenge, but let alone planting the Pinot Noir. Definitely the Heartbreak Grape. It's the hardest to grow and hardest to produce wine with. So
is this? Did this win the silver medal?
Yeah, it was the third year of production on the Pinot Noir. We sent this to Oregon to Mount Hood Northwest Wine Summit and got a silver medal on the first harvest off the Pinot Noir.
That must have felt pretty good because Oregon's got quite a reputation for their Pinot Noir, don't they?
It certainly does, and it just kind of gave me a little justification for what I was doing. For me, everything I thought tasted great, but for someone else to tell you, yes, it's successful, made it work pretty well for me. So
right now, winemaking is not in your background.
No.
You had some help along the way, and particularly on this grape and on that silver medal winning bottle, you did have some help. Can you talk about that?
Yeah, certainly. I had never made a bottle of wine before I had on my first horse, so I actually bought a kit wine and just tried it out after the third year. I better, make some wine. It really tasted bad, so I said I need some help. And a friend of mine, Ken Winchester, from Winchester Cellars in Victoria, got involved with me and consulted, and we worked together on the first bottle. And from there, I've just, learned it myself, self-taught basically. So.
Well, I like this one. I had it last night. How would you pair it at Seabreeze?
Yeah, the pairing on the Pinot Noir, it's so diversified. I mean, you can go to so many different meats, but I love this with a duck, cherry reduction or something like that. You can pull up the fruits, try to match the fruits flavors together. It can also go with pork and go with salmon. It can, it can go with so many different meats because the Pinot it's light, it's medium bodied, and lots of structure, and it can just go with so many different products. So,
will this wine age well?
Yeah, Pinot Noirs. 5-6 years. I wouldn't want to go too much further. Again, it's not a huge tannin wine, and especially in our climate here, we don't have the heat and the structure into the skins to give you the tannins. Right. So I wouldn't let it go too long. But yeah, 5 years is great.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, so our last wine here is this blackberry port style. Talk about that, please.
All right. So the blackberries, like I say, they grow just naturally all over the island. A lot of people actually grow it, and they'll plant thornless blackberries. I use wild blackberry, and Himalayans are ones that I really like. They're just huge flavor in them. And so we'll try you on this. I also blend mine with 20% Agria. So it's 80% blackberries and 20% Agria, which is the Hungarian grape that I grow here. And by doing that, personally I feel fruit wines by themselves can be a bit flat. And so I put the Agria in there and it gives it a bit more structure. Nice finish behind it. So. And I make mine dry. It's not sweet. Like most people think it's going to be really sweet. Mine's quite dry.
Wow, I really like that. I'm not a sweet wine kind of guy. This definitely has the sweetness in the fruit, but it's got a nice acidity.
It does, doesn't
it? So how would you pair this?
This one, again, as soon as I taste it, I want chocolate. Chocolate, you can get into some stronger cheeses, Stiltons, Canterbury's, things like that. Also great for cooking. I know it's alcohol abuse, boiling off alcohol, but they make incredible port sauces, and the flavors just come through so well.
So how do you pair this, or what do you do with this at Seabreeze?
Oh, with the pairings. This one here, again, port sauces mostly. We do a 5-course wine pairing dinner on once a year, just for some fun. And at that point, I think last year we paired this one with a chocolate torte, and it's worked out great. So.
And you've also talked about your reductions and how you've dealt with that, so tell me about that.
Yeah, well, again, when you reduce this down, you concentrate the flavors, and you throw that on a beef tenderloin. It's incredible. Yeah, it just comes right through. And you get the cherry, you get the blackberry, the plum, and the fruits that you want with that. So, or a duck breast.
Okay, so we can buy this wine here at the winery on Hornby Island. It's available at a number of other locations. I'll include a list in the blog post for this. And it's also available at the restaurant now. Can you tell me a bit about the story about that?
Yeah, the story about the restaurant. I guess when I first started this, I knew it was existing as a law called the Tied House Rule, and it eliminated me from being able to produce wine on this winery and sell it in my restaurant off-site. Ironically, if the restaurant was and the winery on the same property, I could do it. But because it was separated, it's called the Tied House, I couldn't do it. So I fought the government over this for 8 years. Lobbying them to try to change this law, and finally this March they finally changed it for me, and they used me as the base of the whole thing, and they said it's just unfair, and it was very unfair. It took a lot of business away from me, and so now I can do it. So it's very exciting for us and all my guests that ask for my wine continually. So yeah.
Well, I didn't know about this Tied House Rule, and I just assumed that I was coming over to Hornby to stay and dine at Seabreeze Lodge, that I would be able to drink wine that came from the island. This is one of 4 wineries, that's right, and a distillery on the island, so there's a bit of a alcohol production microeconomy happening here. But anyway, I lucky for me that the law was changed in April, and here we are in June, and I can drink this at the restaurant. Thanks a lot for your time, Steve, and thanks for explaining the tasting and stuff, and thank you for watching, and I hope you get over here to taste some of this.